I thought I will say a little bit about multimodal image registration along those lines. So, yeah, we already touched upon it with Ridi's talk, that when I have multimodal data, I can have an encoder processing each modality individually, extracting some useful features, and then I have some type of fusion happening of those features that were extracted from the raw modalities, right? And then those fused features are used to learn some downstream task. But if I have the special case where all my modalities are images, or at least multiple of my modalities are such images, I could do the same. I could have some encoder, some feature extractor for each of the modalities individually, and then fuse them at some point of the network training or at the very end, just like in like a general multimodal learning sense. But there is a bit more to it when we're dealing with images in particular. So multimodal images, it's usually that I have sort of the same scene, but captured with different sensors that give me some type of complementary information about the very scene. So in biomedical applications, it's very popular. So here you have some tissue that's imaged with bright field microscopy and with second harmonic generation, exact same field of view, exact same tissue, but looks very, very different, right? One is very dense, extracting sort of cell nuclei and collagen in the tissue, and the other one is having this sort of sparse signal that's corresponding to particular molecules in my tissue. But I have it in Earth observation just as much, and really in any application, we very often have these types of multimodal images, right? But the thing is that when I capture them with different sensors, most often I take those images in different machines. So I need to either use a different camera, or in the biological sense, I need to often take my sample and move it into a different machine. So those images, even though they capture the same sort of scene, they're not necessarily spatially aligned. So what I can do is either that, well, I don't care. I kind of extract global features from each of these image modalities individually and then fuse them. Or I fuse them very, very early on as sort of like a special case, right? So before I extract any information with my networks, I really just take sort of the pixel values as features, and I align them already in that sort of raw input space. And then in that sense do a fusion, and then have some network learn something with all those modalities together. So in this part of this very, very early fusion, where I haven't actually extracted any global features, but I have my complete spatial resolution still, my raw features, that's what kind of needs this spatial alignment, what's called image registration. So with one of the projects that we're working with in visual intelligence, we saw that is very relevant to consider when we're dealing with multiple images instead of working with the extracted features. So it's not actually multimodal now, this example, but it comes from a collaboration with the Cancer Registry, where we are trying to predict breast cancer risk using mammograms, and in particular using mammograms over time. So if a patient comes in and takes images every 2 years, we have like a list of how the tissue kind of, sort of changed over the last couple of years for a patient. And here we have worked with sort of what's shown as B in the figure here, where we are using feature extractors, some encoders on a prior mammogram and the most current mammogram, and then align those features, register those features. And we have also worked with aligning the raw images first and then extracting features from those aligned images, which is C in this figure. And here we see a very clear upside of aligning the actual images first before we extract any features, which is the last line for both of those data sets. So the higher the number, the better. And we get much nicer results if we actually kind of put in the work to spatially align those features first. So here's an example of what that would look like if you have the latest mammogram and the previous mammogram. And if you're actually doing this registration in these for these raw images, you can very easily highlight the difference that has occurred in those images, because you now sort of, aligned those anatomical structures. So you're really kind of helping the network to kind of put the focus onto where there's the correspondences between those images. So it doesn't have to learn everything, just by mass. And especially in biometric applications, we don't usually have these ginormous data sets. So now these are basically not really multimodal, right? Because they're taken with the same modality. They're both mammograms, just taken at different time points. But I think the sort of the idea is pretty similar. And we can, of course, do that inside a whole network as well. So here, this registration for the different views happens with this MammoRegNet, which came out as out of a master thesis with Solveig Rune, who's now doing a PhD with visual intelligence. And we're having a pre-trained registration network that aligns them spatially, and then this deformation field is used to make sure that features are aligned spatially. But it's not trained inside the network anymore, so it's pre-trained. So I'll tell you a little bit about registration, because it's not a messy topic by itself, but there is a few different types of registration and different approaches of how to solve them. But in general, it's this task of spatially aligning two images. And we have sort of these three categories of types of registration when we talk about image registration. So it's either that the image that I'm trying to align to this first image has undergone some rigid transformation, so it has been rotated and translated, or an affine transformation where I also have this type of sort of stretching that has been applied, or I have a completely nonlinear transformation, so deformable transformation that has been applied to it. And these first two, the rigid transformation and affine transformation, they are similar in the sense that you're trying to find one set of parameters that transforms the entire image. And it can be solved with like finding a particular transformation matrix that is then kind of applied globally for the entire image. So it's actually kind of a simpler task, or it's not necessarily simple to find these parameters, but it's a well-established task that has quite a few solutions to it. Deformable registration, so these are these types of matrices that you're looking for that get you the parameters for the translation, for the rotation, for the scaling, and the shear if you're in a affine transformation. But the deformable registration is quite different because every pixel can move individually with like a different, in a different direction to a different degree. So it's a much harder problem in the sense that you're trying to have some optimization and you will need some similarity measure, and it has to be highly constrained in how far a pixel can move, because otherwise you can completely destroy the content and the structures of your image. So that one needs strong regularization and some optimization. So there's different sort of classic image processing approaches to normal monomodal image registration. So it can either be intensity-based, where you can use mutual information or normalized cross-correlation. It can be feature-based, where you're extracting SIFT features or SURF features or other sort of sparse feature types, and then find a global sort of matching between those features, and then apply that transformation to your image. Or you have to set the particular transformation model and then solve some optimization for that. And very often you will have, like as a first step, an affine transformation that sort of roughly aligns your two images. And then once that has happened, then you are going in a second step to solve the deformable registration part, where now each pixel can move. But since they're already sort of close to where they're supposed to go, it kind of is solvable with these constraints. And that has also happened with this MAMO-RegNet, where in the first step, you're finding this affine transformation, and as a second step, the deformable registration part. And now when we're talking about multimodal image registration, it's the same thing, just that my two images, have been captured by different modalities, but I'm still trying to find the best transformation, either a rigid transformation, a fine transformation, or a deformable registration. The thing is now with multimodal images, it's a very, very challenging task because you have this completely nonlinear relationship between the pixels, and they might show completely complementary structures that are only visible in one but not the other image. So the sort of only kind of classic tools that you don't have this long list of different approaches anymore, but it's all kind of based on some local optimization of mutual information. And the mutual information between those multimodal images is really just like a proxy. Doesn't necessarily mean that the mutual information actually has its highest maximum when you have aligned them perfectly, which is a problem by itself. And it is prone to get stuck in local optima, especially if they're very far from being aligned. So if they start out 180 degrees from one another and you're trying to find the rotation, this mutual information optimization is going to get stuck in a lot of optima, and you will have to restart over and over again until you end up with like a good solution. But you can go back to contrastive learning and multimodal image alignment for such a registration task as well. So very much like what Ridi already showed for images and text, you can do the same thing for multimodal image pairs as well. So if you have some aligned images in your training set, you can have one patch in one of the modalities as an anchor and the corresponding patch in your other modality as a positive. So those two, you're trying to have some network find some representations that are close by. But in this case, you're trying to aim for the same spatial dimensions as your input images had, such that you learn this intermediate representation space where the two modalities look similar, so that these networks extract common features that are present in both of those images. And then anything you have in your batch from either the two modalities can serve as a negative, and you can have such type of contrastive learning that really is focused to find these common intermediate modality. And then using that intermediate modality, you can you're so close to a monomodal space that your classic feature extractor, your intensity-based registration methods work again, such that you can find the alignment and apply it to the original images. So what you really do is that you have this sort of what you can do, and what I would suggest you do when you have multimodal images, is that you have this first step where you have a network that's learning these features that have the spatial component that you can use to do this very early fusion of the raw input with the registration, with the alignment. And then once they're actually aligned spatially, you have another network that is tailored for your downstream task, such that you then can extract features from both of those modalities, fuse them with your favorite fusion method, and learn something for your prediction. And these two things don't necessarily have to be coupled together. That whole registration part can be just a pre-processing step, and these encoders don't have to be in any way the same, because you're basically throwing away those features, these the first step, and you go back to the original features. So yeah, this first part is really to learn the spatial correspondence between structures, and then the second thing is sort of the task relevant features as you need them. So yeah, my conclusions and my experience in this is that you should really consider the spatial alignment when you have multiple modalities that are both images, especially if you're not trying to do that when you're not having a prediction task that is on like a global image level. So if you're just classifying the entire image, then it might not be needed that you are aligning those images, because you could do that separately for each of the modalities and then, I don't know, have a majority vote on those classification results or concatenate those features. But as soon as you're having something that needs sort of a spatial location, like, I don't know, an object detection task, a segmentation task, for example, some image retrieval task, then you are not in that setting that you just need these global features, but you need local features from images, and then it makes a lot of sense to align the images first. Because if you do that, then you're also helping the network to not have to learn the connection between those modalities completely from scratch, which may be possible if we're in a setting where, yeah, we can take anything from the web. But if you're in biomedical applications or anything that we're working with very often, we are in this limited data setting, and then we can exploit any context sort of that comes our way. And this type of spatial correspondence is definitely one of those. So yeah, the code for the mammography project is available, and also for these types of image registration approaches using representation learning as well.